So, have you ever seen this happen? You find a piece of content that is just on fire. The comments are great, the views are going through the roof, and then all of a sudden, it just stops. Dead. The views totally flatline, and it just vanishes from everyone's recommendations. Well, today we're going to dive deep into this mystery, into what we're calling YouTube's invisible trap, to figure out why the algorithm sometimes seems to kill its own biggest viral hits. We're going to tackle this like a digital detective story, and the main question we're investigating is a pretty wild one. What if a piece of content isn't failing because it's bad, but because it's actually too good for the system to even handle? I know it sounds kind of strange, but the evidence we've dug up from a back and forth with YouTube's own AI, well, it's pretty darn compelling. You know, every good investigation kicks off with a clue that just doesn't add up. And in our case, the first piece of evidence is this really strange discrepancy in the data. It's like a tale of two completely different sets of numbers for the exact same piece of content. Okay, so take a look at this. This slide really gets to the heart of the conflict. On one hand, you have the raw math, and it shows all the signs of a certified hit. A really solid click-through rate, great view duration, and get this, a massive 133% rewatch spike. But then you look at YouTube's official summary, and it's telling a totally different story, reporting lower numbers on everything. So, which is it? Is it a success or is it a dud? This right here is our first big clue. So, when we asked the AI about this, the official story we got is that it's just a reporting lag. It claims the recommendation system, what it calls the discovery brain, it acts on the real positive signals instantly. So it's suggesting this is all just a delay in the paperwork, not a problem with the engine itself. But as we're about to see, that story, it starts to fall apart pretty quickly. Right, so it turns out the algorithm isn't just one single thing. It's actually more like a system with two conflicting personalities, two brains that are constantly at war with each other. And understanding this internal conflict is the absolute key to solving this whole case. So on one side, you've got the discovery brain. This thing is all about speed, all about momentum. It sees those real-time signals like a huge rewatch spike, and it just wants to push that content out to everybody, right now. But then on the other side, you have the safety brain. And its goal isn't momentum at all. It's certainty. It's slow, it's cautious, and it needs up to 72 hours just to verify the data. So one brain wants to floor it, and the other one wants to slam on the brakes. And this conflict leads to something that the system definitely does not advertise. A hidden procedure our investigation uncovered called the Outlier Protocol. This is what gets triggered when content performs so well that it literally breaks the normal rules. This brings us to the big question, the one we all want to know. Is YouTube secretly putting the brakes on high-performing content? After pushing the AI on this conflict between its two brains, we got something back that sounds, well, it sounds a lot like a confession. And there it is, the smoking gun. The AI straight up admits that when it sees an anomaly like that huge rewatch spike, the discovery brain is restricted. The system decides the audit is more important than the momentum. In its own words, this is, and I quote, effectively a soft throttle. So yes, the brakes are in fact being slammed on. So here's the crucial thing to understand. The Outlier Protocol is a security feature, not a discovery feature. When your content does too well, it gets flagged as a potential risk. The system literally decides that it's more important to be absolutely certain about the data than it is to capitalize on its viral momentum. But here is the most shocking part of this whole investigation. The system doesn't just halt the content's growth. The delay it creates actually manufactures its failure. This is what we're calling the Manufactured Decay Trap. Okay, let's walk through the timeline of this kill switch. In hour 1, a piece of content goes viral. Maybe it's hitting a 10% click-through rate. But that amazing success triggers the Outlier Protocol, and that puts it into a 72-hour verification black box. Now, for topical content, 72 hours is an eternity. By the time the audit is finally done, the news is old, interest has faded, and the CTR has dropped. The system then looks at this new lower number and decides, nope, deny wider distribution. And this right here is the trap. The algorithm freezes the content when it's at its hottest, waits for it to cool off, and then uses the drop in performance, a drop that it created, as proof that the content wasn't worth showing to more people in the first place. It is a perfect, self-fulfilling prophecy of failure. Okay, so we know how this happens. But the final piece of our puzzle is the motive. Why would the system ever be designed this way?
Well, the answer reveals a really fundamental bias right at the heart of the algorithm.
It all comes down to a simple 4-step playbook. Step 1, flag incredible success as a risk. Step 2, throttle the content with a long audit. Step 3, wait for the topic's relevance to completely decay. And finally, step 4, penalize that original hit and instead favor predictable, quote-unquote, boring content that's just easier to manage.
So why does this all matter? Well, it's about managing risk on a massive, massive scale. For the platform, keeping millions of viewers watching predictable, safe content is just a lower risk than betting on one explosive, viral hit that's way harder to predict. It's choosing the stability of the entire platform over the success of a single breakthrough piece of content.
And so our investigation reaches its final verdict. Maybe we've been thinking about YouTube all wrong. It's not primarily a discovery engine built to find new and exciting ideas. It's a risk management engine built to create a safe, predictable environment for advertisers. The invisible trap isn't some kind of glitch. It's a feature of a system that is designed for certainty, not for virality.